Welcome back to the Amsterdam Radio, the podcast for creatives. And well, my guest today is creative in his own right, the host of the Ability Beast podcast, Wahid Kabir. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Ability Beast Talk. So good to be on with you, Flobo. It's
Yeah,
just an absolute honor. You're such
yeah.
a positive and beautiful soul. So it's such a beautiful honor to be with you today.
Oh, thanks, man. But the pleasure's all mine. I'm you're making me blush already.
You know what I mean? No, you really are like positive and like like genuine. So thank you for being you.
Oh man, I
I appreciate it.
appreciate that. But let's talk about the Ability Beast Talk podcast. I actually went back and listened to a couple episodes today just to get myself familiar with it. How did it come about? What's the dream with that?
Oh well, you know, I've lived my entire life with cerebral palsy, and I was born 2 pounds and 3 ounces. I was born in New York, the same hospital as Donald Trump. But
Oh wow.
believe it or not, Elmer's Hospital, 2 pounds and 3 ounces. Been fighting for my life ever since, and I've been fighting in life ever since. I mean, when I was first in high school, the teachers told me I would never succeed in college. I was like, no, thank you. I believe in myself, and I believe in who I am. And they wanted me to go to trade school. They wanted me to stay an extra year in high school, and I was like, for what? You guys gave me you guys gave me a certificate of completion, and you guys gave me, you picked you picked my classes for me, and what am I gonna learn for an extra year? So I was like, no, thank you. Please break off the handcuffs and let me be me.
Yeah.
And I went to college, got my bachelor's degree, got my master's degree, and now, uh, just been fighting to get a job, and finally I was like, you know what? I'm gonna create my own nonprofit organization called
Yeah.
Ability on the Move, and we
Yeah.
give grants and scholarships to the disabled. So yeah, and I told them, I'm gonna create my own pathway, my own organization, and that's what brought about the podcast because I really, the podcast is about overcoming struggles with positive affirmation from all walks of life, and I really want to get a bunch of stories out there that no matter what you're going through, you can overcome your struggles as long as you
Mm.
stay positive and you believe in yourself.
Yeah. Oh man, that right there is a story and a half, man. I mean, you're like me. You're from New York, which is not an easy town to come from, and you survived and thrived, baby. I love that. But
you know,
like, yeah, what's up?
mhm. Yesterday I was on the podcast with Evan the Biz. He's from New York too. So
Yeah.
two, yeah, two New Yorkers back to back. That's beautiful. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
you know how it is. We're actually honest folks, man. Wasn't why not? But I like the fact that you decided to take your own path. You know, a lot of listeners who do AmSam Radio specifically, they may have a day job or they may not, or they may have kids or they may not. But there's
Mm,
always this first inciting incident for them to say, you know what, I'm gonna build my own platform. I'm gonna build my own way. And it looked like a lot of people didn't expect you to achieve, and you decided to make this happen with your podcast and others. But so far, how has the experience been with the Ability Beast Talk Show?
I love it. My first guest was motivational speaker, my mentor David Meltzer, big time motivational speaker out there. He's very inspiring. He's inspired me for the last um, 8 or 9 years since I known him. I was interning for him with Sports One Marketing with Warren Moon, and he's just been a light in my life to where, like, he's just been an inspiration to where how to conduct yourself, how to just stay positive, and how to have that positive aura, and how to help others. His saying is, make it a lot of money, have a lot of fun, help a lot of people. So
Mm,
yeah, that's
yeah.
that's his beliefs, and I'm very lucky to have him as a mentor. My second interview, I did my former basketball coach at Irvine High School, coaches at the women's basketball team at Edison High School now, and
Yeah.
he was my second interview. But I feel it's empowering to a lot of people, able-bodied people and disabled people, because it allows us to learn from each other's struggles, and I think
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing. We all struggle in life. We're all on different journeys, and that's what makes it so beautiful.
You had mentioned the power of positive affirmations or love affirmations. Can you just give us a little bit of background for those who don't know what that is and how has it helped you?
What positive affirmation for me has helped me, and it's like, just having having that positive attitude every day, staying positive, putting positivity out in the universe, and and praying with positivity, and just looking at life as the glass half full rather than half empty. You know, I'm I have cerebral palsy. I'm in a wheelchair, but I don't see the wheelchair as a negation. I see it as a part of me, and it helps me get around. And
Hmm.
it's a part of me. I don't negate it. I think it makes me who I am. I love it. I love it. It's a part of my journey. It's a part of who I am. And I think a lot of people with disabilities, um, they let society back them into a corner, and then they lose confidence, and then they society only gives us $900 a month to live on social security, and that's not
Yeah,
a lot. That's not a lot to live on, and we get backed into a corner. The moment we start working, we lose our benefits. So that's why a lot of
right.
people with disabilities are very discouraged of working and creating their own content because they don't want to lose their benefits. Society shapes it that way. So
Yeah,
we get backed in the corner. So I'm just trying to be that voice, that advocate that say enough's enough. We need the
yeah.
opportunities, especially if we have the education. Why why shouldn't we have the opportunity?
Sure. Has there been, and again, I forgive me because this is a whole new expression for me, world
Right,
for
right.
me. But has there been strides and bridging that gap between those who are disabled, or is there a lot more to go? Where's the state of that today?
I mean, there's of course the ADA Act that was first in 1985, then was reacted um, in 2002, I believe. But and but I think there's a lot more to be done. I think there's a lot of disabled people that are speakers that have their own brand, but there's not an advocate out there to say we need more jobs. We need more opportunities. Flobo, I've been on jobs myself and job interviews, and 5 minutes in the interview, the moment I roll into the interview, they already decided in their mind that they're not going to hire me, and they
Oh
use
wow.
the language like you're not the candidate, you're not the best candidate for the job, or 5 minutes within the interview, and it takes me such a long time to take the bus down there, to get dressed in the morning, to look the
Yeah,
part, because I earned the part, because
yeah,
I've had the education. So it's I have to plan my whole day, and within 5 minutes they're gonna tell me no, and they haven't even heard me out. They don't
yeah.
even know what I'm made of. They looking at my disability, not my abilities.
Right. I mean, and then I have to go back to what you're saying before. It's almost admirable that despite what's going on, you're looking at the positive side. Like I would be frustrated, angry, upset, willing to burn things down, but you're building
Mm.
instead. What keeps you going then? Like what it has to be days you must be feeling it. Be like, oh, I can't do this. I can't deal with these people. But what makes you keep going?
I don't say I can't. You know,
Fair enough.
I,
Fair enough.
I,
Fair enough.
I try to keep that as out of my vocabulary as much as I can. I don't really think about that. I just think about, I love every moment, to be honest with you. I love every moment because, life's a blessing for me because if I was born in Afghanistan where my family's from, I wouldn't be
Mhm.
alive today, man. I wouldn't be alive
Mm.
today. That's a third world country. If I was born 2 pounds and 3 ounces in a third world country, they would have buried me under the tree and I would still be alive, breathing. But, they'd be like,
Mhm.
he's done, let's bury him.
Right.
but I've been fighting ever since day one, where my parents were, they were new to this country when I was born, fairly new to this country when I was born, and they were taking the subway in New York from the hospital to back home, while I was stuck in the ICU, um, stuck to. Hooked up in the tubes, and they were worried about me, and they didn't even know how to take the subway. They didn't speak English, so it was very difficult for them. But they made it. I think my parents gave me my strength, and no matter what, because they taught me how to be a good human being and be loving and to love others, and
Yeah,
I just enjoy every moment.
yeah. So talk to me about the bridging between the Ability Beast Talk Show and Ability on the Move. I know that's the advocacy arm, but how
Mm.
are they related together? Does one fuel the other? Like, what's the relationship?
Yes, yes. Thank you for asking that. That we give grants and scholarships to the disabled, as far as when it comes to to schools or if they need medical equipment. And Ability Beast Talk is kind of the messaging point for for Ability on the Move to get these causes out there, to be the voice of Ability on the Move, to say that people with disabilities need the right tools to succeed, and the right tools are scholarships and grants to have the proper equipment, as far as the DME equipment, durable medical equipment, as far as wheelchairs and like bath equipment, or if they need a walker or something,
Yeah,
and it gives them the proper equipment to succeed and to go out there and into the community and chase their dreams and chase their hopes. And Ability Beach Talk is the voice of that. I'm trying to be the voice of Ability on the Move, and not just Ability on the Move, many nonprofits that we're going to be
mm.
working together with. Um, One of them is a local nonprofit, the Regional Center of Orange County. We're going to start
Oh,
to work with them, and it's funny because they're like, "We'll work with you, but you got to watch your f bombs." I was like, "Yes, not a problem," but that's my New Yorker in me. I'm sorry. Yeah,
I love it. I love it because I live in
yeah,
Los Angeles. I live in Los Angeles now, and it's kind of the same deal. It's kind of like, hey, we love New York,
yeah,
but not that much. That's
right, exactly. but
well. Sorry, you're saying?
but I think one thing they need to fix in New York, and maybe this is something we can talk about in a group discussion or a group podcast, is there is no, like, certain stops in New York. When I went to go back and visit in 2014, certain stops in the subway don't have an elevator, and it's
Mm,
literally you got to go backwards to go forward. You got to take the
yeah,
bus. You got to. I mean, for being a big city like that, that's unacceptable. And to put, I understand they can't put in a elevator because it's been grandfathered in. They're
yeah,
kind of like, that's too hard to put in an elevator. But what about a
yeah.
ramp? What about a ramp? You know,
Yeah, you're
you know.
absolutely right. My dad, he's retired now. He worked 35 years for transit, and during the first passing of the Americans with Disability Act, that was kind of the deal of
Right,
having this giant system with, like, at the time, like half the stops didn't have elevators, and it really was a situation of them relying on the grandfather rule because of the infrastructure cost. But now we're getting to a point where it's like it's almost like indecent to not attempt.
right, right,
You know what I mean?
right,
Like, how long did the grandfather rule work?
right.
Until you go, okay,
Oh
we
yeah,
need to change
totally.
something.
And they always want to pass the buck. Because they're not all sitting in wheelchairs. But I would like to put, and I think Cory Booker would do this if we
Hmm.
reached out to him. I think he would do this. I'd like to put the governor and the senator in wheelchairs for a day, and let's see how they get around in the city,
Yeah,
and let's see how they get around. You can't
yeah,
stand up. You can't get out of the chair. Let's see how they like it. Just as a learning and teaching point to see that something needs to be changed to raise awareness. I think
right.
that's always been a great idea of mine to see. And Cory Booker's a good man, and I think he'll understand and he'll start to move until somebody's actually felt what people with disabilities go through. I don't think can change starts from there, and
Yeah.
change starts with discussion, like the discussion we're having.
Yeah, absolutely. It must be, I don't want to say the word tiring, but it must be frustrating at times to explain where you're coming from and it fall on deaf ears, you know? Like, I guess the question I have for you then is how do you refill your cup? Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
maintain, what do you do to get yourself recharged to go out there again and try another day?
I've been fighting. Like I said, I've been fighting for, you know, my life, and just, you know, the underdog since since I was born. I'm a Knicks fan. Being a Knicks
Oh,
fan. I mean, being a Knicks fan, that's painful enough, man. I
oh,
mean, being a Knicks fan will teach you how to survive in life. I
right.
mean,
You're
you
not
know,
wrong.
suffering as a Knicks fan will teach you how to survive in life.
You're not wrong, man.
so,
so, so you're a basketball fan. How do you relax then? Days off? Do you, I don't know. Do you paint? Do you chill? Do you read? Like, what do you do to pass the time?
I love going to the gym. I go to the gym, and that's where the ability beats. Um, you know,
Okay.
5 years ago, I started going to the gym, and I think it's very important for, especially with people with disabilities and people that are in a wheelchair. They need to move. You need to start moving, and moving your body and gaining that range of motion, especially people with cerebral palsy. And we need to move, literally move in the right direction. I think it's so relieving for me to be in the gym and be in that atmosphere, be with my homies, be with my people, and just be lifting and just be, chopping it up and be lifting and just love lifting, and it feels good. And
Yeah.
you meet new people and you really spread your positivity.
Oh, it's a whole different vibe. If you got gym homies, it's like,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
we see you in
oh
two
yeah,
days.
totally.
What's up?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, totally. And I have great friends that teach me how to new techniques, and they're really, because I'm the genuine articles. You reap what you sow. If you're a douchebag, people gonna treat you like that. But if you're actually spreading good energy and being, supportive to uh, to to your friends, that's important. Like my friend Marcus. I mean, he's like 10 years older than me. He's 45, but he recently lost a lot of weight. He started running
Oh,
like 6 miles a day, and I was being encouraging to him. And what the funny thing happened? Our relationship grew closer because I was being genuinely encouraging to him, and he started saying like, "Oh, what certain exercises can I help you with?" And he used to have a buddy with cerebral palsy from Hawaii when they used to live there. So
yeah.
we're starting to work together, like, and he's helping me with my range of motion exercises, and a genuine, beautiful friendship. And that's, I think, once you step out of, you know, always thinking about me, and you start thinking about other people, it gives you a whole different perspective on life.
I think I'm guilty of doing that myself sometimes. Sometimes I'm kind of like, woe is me. Why is life so hard for me? And you're right. Connect with other people and hearing about their backstories, why we do what we do,
Oh
whether
yeah,
it's New Amsterdam or whether it's the Ability Beats talk. How
oh yeah.
often do episodes? How often does the episodes come out?
Um, about once or twice a week. Um,
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to get on a strict schedule. Probably gonna be like Sundays and Mondays. That's what I
Okay.
like the best, because for me, Sundays and Mondays. For me, nobody likes Sundays because they got to go back to work, and Mondays is the beginning of the week. So to hit them with a little bit of positivity, a little bit of something to think about, food for thought, I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. And what's been the best part of recording it then? Just get the positivity, meeting cool people, just get the brand out there.
I think just finally being the voice
Mhm.
of people with disabilities, and being the voice of, and learning about people's journeys. I mean, there's so many people that are being affected by depression and anxiety in this country. I would never, like, I didn't even think about it until like a lot of my guests said, I deal with a lot of depression and anxiety, and like, and it's not just one guest; it was multiple guests, and it's just like I want to do something to help this cause, because I'm like, you know, um, that's a real, problem on its own, and this
Yeah.
country has a big problem with depression and anxiety, and we should help each other get through those tough moments.
Wow. I appreciate you stopping by and dropping those nuggets of positivity. Why Kabir, the host of the Ability Beast Talk podcast, Sundays and Mondays, wherever you listen to your podcast. But if anyone wanted to follow you, connect with you, see what you're doing, see your workout videos, how to go about doing that.
You can follow me on Ability Beach Talk uh, on Instagram, and also the podcast is on Apple Podcast, Ability Beach Talk. It's on Spotify, Google Podcast, Ability Beach Talk. Also on abilitybeachtalk.com as well. And yeah, I'm just trying to be the advocate for a population that is a beautiful population, and we need to be defined by our abilities, not our disabilities. And Flobo, I really appreciate your podcast, and I love what you do, and I love the person that you are.
Well,
Again, I don't
thanks,
want.
man.
I'm not trying to make you blush, but
Too late.
but but I love I would love to have you on the Ability Beats Talk, and as well I love your other podcast. What's up with Flobo? I was looking at
Yeah.
that. That's awesome. What is it? How did that come about? Real quick.
Oh, the regular What's Up Flobo was kind of like me talking just like normally, like how many you have your solo podcast. But the after hours came because I wanted to do a Trevor Noah like news show, but it kind of evolved over time to become this late night talk show with my friends and get to tell jokes and stuff. And it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, what do you
Yeah.
enjoy most about that? In fact, quick question.
Oh wow! I feel like I'm on your show already, baby. No, I like this show, New Amsterdam, because I get to really connect with different people and really see what makes them tick. That's cool.
Right.
But on After Hours, it's really about more having a good time. Like there's so many podcasts out there that drill like, what's your story? But whereas
Right.
After Hours is like, let's have fun, and if your story comes out, that's great. And so it's kind of like a whole new twist in the concept. So
Oh, that's
yeah.
beautiful. That's
Yeah.
I already followed it, and I'm gonna make sure I watch every episode, and I really appreciate your support. It means the world to me, and I really appreciate your friendship and mentorship. I gotta send you a Ability Beats Talk shirt. They're coming out soon. I'm gonna send you one and make sure.
You got merch? What?
Yeah, the merch is coming as well as the coffee. Ability Beats coffee is coming as well. So
You
you
should have
know,
led with that. I love coffee.
yeah, and I love the fact you're in New York. I appreciate every moment of this, and I hopefully we can I appreciate your friendship, and I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk soon.
Take care, my friend. Bye. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.